Hello everyone and welcome to a game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from IRUG-Z and he is in the Amagi, Tier 8 Japanese battleship. He is on the map Trap in a 3-point domination game mode. It's a Tier 8 battle, so that's wonderful. The friendly team has the only destroyer, that's even better, and the carrier is only Tier 6. Now, in the domination, destroyers are very important to take capture points, and if the enemy team has none, that's pretty amazing. Now, the only thing that can be a real threat to the friendly destroyer are planes. Well, and radar, but do they have radar? Doesn't look like it. So, no radar. The only thing that can really screw up the friendly destroyer's game are planes. Now, there is an enemy Atago in the center trying to stop that cap, but I suppose that Atago will go down pretty soon. He is spotted by planes while he has some cover by, in form of this island. I'm not sure that will be enough. He has no support, so I don't have high hopes for that enemy ship, and then the friendlies can hopefully grab center. Now here, friendly Leander has taken point A. He has used the fact that there are no destroyers. He is there in his smoke, and now he is happily engaging those enemy ships. There is nobody who can torpedo his smoke. Well, maybe the planes can, but he should be pretty safe here. He was able to get a capture point, and now all the enemy team has to do is defend. Now there looks to be quite a sizable enemy force, so that's not a force that you can push, and there is no reason to push because, well, the friendlies have the capture point. Now all they have to do is defend. So you want to be in a position here somewhat behind the cap, maybe use this island a little bit as, well, as additional cover, and just engage the enemies that are pushing in here. Now there is it's that Bismarck move. I think that Bismarck might still be in his starting position, but that Bismarck should really get closer, and he should be the frontline ship here. He is a lot better suited for brawling than an Amagi, and if he were here he could get use out of his secondaries, and he would make this position just so much stronger. Now in the north we have a Graf Spee and a Gneisenau who are probably suiciding. Now that Gneisenau might get some use out of his torpedoes, he is pushing hard against the Bismarck, so thanks to his torpedoes he might have a chance there. But you don't want to take just 2 ships up to Charlie. That's not a good idea. With no destroyer up there, those ships should have either supported the center or point A. Now the friendly team has 2 capture points, and what they should do now is focus on defending them. And unfortunately it really looks like that Bismarck is AFK, or he hasn't found his W key yet. Either way, he is not going to be of any use in this battle, I'm afraid. And that's a pretty big downside. But, well, IRUG-Z is holding his position here. He is pretty close to the zone wall, but the zone wall is just pretty close to this capture point, and overall he's just trying to to stay here a little bit behind the capture point, and he is engaging enemies that are pushing in this direction. Now there are 3 enemy ships around here. The Pensacola looks like he might be trying to use his concealment to go capture here. And, well, the Pensacola is using her guns. That's a bad idea. Basically, if the Pensacola was unspotted, and he almost was unspotted here again, then he could do this. He could try to take this capture point. But he's just showing way too much broadside. There is a Leander, a Hood, and an Amagi who can engage him, and yeah, goodbye Pensacola. So, really unsurprising, I suppose. Not that sitting behind an island would have done much. The Leander is holding position here. He has been for a very long time, and he is preventing the enemies from getting this capture point. So pretty good job from the Leander here. He can also get some use out of his torpedoes if the enemy pushes in, and that might actually make the enemy team more hesitant. Now unfortunately, ship-wise it's not looking so good, and the friendly Akatsuki is a bit overextending. I think he has done a good job so far, but he is way too far on the enemy side. He is now plane spotted. If the friendly carrier doesn't help him, the only way he has to remain unspotted would be smoke. He should be closer to the friendly side. He might have also tried staying and defending the center, I suppose. Because unfortunately the friendly team has lost. Having less capture points with the only destroyer in the game is obviously sad, but you know, the friendlies have, for example, an AFK Bismarck. So friendly carry is helping out, it's looking better for this destroyer up there. And things are getting a lot more exciting here at point A. The enemy team is pushing in hard. The Leander is trying to hold his position here, but he got taken out. It might have been smarter for him to retreat once he saw that push coming and just try to get some distance there. But Iroxet is now moving in. His ship is not the best brawler and he has to be careful. Gneisenau has torpedoes. Gneisenau has amazing secondaries, but well, Yamaki has obviously the better guns. And Gneisenau is showing an awful lot of broadside. Now he is turning away here. He is turning away because he fears torpedoes. Now this is opening up his broadside towards the enemy and there are the torps. He could have just turned the other way, but that means he wouldn't have been able to use all his guns. So I guess this here was a calculated risk and well, the Gneisenau is going down pretty soon. Hopefully. Now there is still the Hood helping out. There is still a Bismarck who is doing nothing. And well, the friendly destroyer has abandoned the cap up here. I'm not sure where he is going. I guess he is really getting harassed by planes and not really much he can do about it. So maybe he is, well, I don't know. Maybe he's looking for the carrier. What he would need is probably just sit in smoke and go capture, but the enemies have battleships in both other caps, so there isn't much he can do unless he gets them with his torpedoes. So the destroyer is probably in a pretty bad spot here. And well, there is still a King George pushing here, and Iroxet and the Hood are the only defenders left. When we look at the minimap, we always see that sad AFK Bismarck sitting here. Now, of course, it's possible that he had a legitimate reason for not being in this battle. Maybe there were some technical issues, internet connection was lost, whatever. But still, it hurts the friendly team quite a bit. Now, some very nice hits against the King George. The King George is... yeah, well, I think he's trying to angle. And also, unfortunately, there is now a zone wall in the way, so Iroxet has retreated as far as he could, and now he is just pushing up against the zone wall. Probably a good time to pull in the reverse. He obviously can't turn and show his broadside. I mean, he is on very low health already. There is... well, now the King George is showing his full broadside. That means the front turrets can be used once more, and well, hopefully the next salvo will seal the deal. Ah, the Hood got him. So that's nice. And look at that, there is a Nürnberg who sneakily entered this fight. And now he has realized that he's all alone, but you know, reversing like that is probably not the healthiest choice. Maybe he gets away with it, it depends if those shares connect or not. And he didn't get away with it. Now Iroxet can finally untangle himself from this zone wall and, well, looks like the destroyer has found the independence. Now I would have preferred if the destroyer was capping, but I guess he was just so annoyed of getting constantly plane spotted and maybe he was getting interrupted, I don't know. So he decided to go hunt the carrier and the Fuso took him out. That's sad because that destroyer would have been very helpful in getting capture points. The friendly team is behind by a lot. It's 3 against 3, 3 battleships against 3 battleships. Well, not really. There is still the Bismarck who has not moved since the beginning of the game, and well, I guess he is at least soaking up damage for the friendlies, so he is not entirely useless. But the friendlies need capture points, and Until now, the Hood and the Yamagi have really just defended A the entire game so far, and now that they are finally finished, they find themselves in a position where they... Well, they are probably too far away to get... I mean, there is still 7 minutes left, but the enemy lead is quite substantial. So they wanna go towards a capture point and they wanna sink those Bismarcks. Now, Yamagi is on... Well, he is on dangerously low health. Considering that he is facing 2 battleships, but then again the battleships are still pounding the AFK Bismarck, so there is hope here. Now one of the 2 friendly ships has to go towards B, probably Booth. The Hood is... I think the Hood is just sitting here and using all of his guns. He doesn't want to move forward because he's afraid that the island will block his shells. I guess there's an argument to be made for that. The friendlies will have to sink ships, and not only capturing B is probably not enough. Which raises a very tough question. Is he going here through the middle and towards B, which is, I suppose, probably the fastest point, but he really has to engage those Bismarcks. So if he stays south, hopefully sinks a Bismarck or 2 and then goes B. Yeah, that might be the way to go. Now the Hood should really get moving. The Hood should just try to get into B as fast as possible, and also maybe... Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get close to a Bismarck, right? Bismarck has scary secondaries and the guns are not that accurate, so if you're getting closer to a Bismarck, you're doing the Bismarck a favor. Then again, they really have to engage and sink those Bismarcks. So now here he could probably use his plane. If he were to launch his plane, he would spot the Bismarck, and that would have been helpful. Now the Bismarck probably shoots down that spotter plane pretty fast, but you only would have needed to spot the enemy for a short time. And goodbye, enemy Bismarck. Well, that's nice. There's a Kraken unleashed. So, there is 1 enemy Bismarck still around here, and there is the Fuso in the north. I'm not sure what the Fuso is doing, but he doesn't have to do anything because currently his team is winning. So, what will Irakzet do now? They still need that capture point. The Hood still isn't moving. I'm not sure the Hood have a link there. I mean, the Hood fought this battle and he was moving around for a very long time around A, so... Did he have a disconnect? Somebody is now saying the Hood is a bot. I'm not sure. I mean, the Hood has been shooting his guns earlier and the Hood has been sailing around, but maybe it's a bot, I don't know. It would have been rather dramatic because they already had an AFK Bismarck. So Irakzet is really charging this Bismarck. And once again, the Bismarck has the advantage in close quarters. I guess at this point he doesn't care. He thinks he needs to sink this ship fast, and getting in close, well, gives him a better chance to sink the Bismarck, I suppose. I would have probably sailed towards B, tried to cap, but I'm not sure if the time would have been enough, and there you go. That's 1 less Bismarck. Now there is still 3 minutes something left. If he went for B earlier, maybe he wouldn't have been able to sink the Bismarck, maybe he would have. He could have gotten into a crossfire with the Fuso, and with his health this would have been really problematic. But right now I think we speed it up here a little bit, and guess what? The Hood is shooting the water and is not moving, so I'm not certain what's happening, but it's entirely possible that the Hood is a bot, yes. So they had an AFK Bismarck and a Hood bot. I guess that's enough to throw the game. Well, we shall see. It's not over yet. Now point-wise it looks horrible. There is almost no time left. Now he really has to sink the Fuso, and he has about 1 minute to sink this Fuso. If this Fuso is smart, he is just disengaging and staying out of the line of fire, because he has won this, right? The only way or the enemy to lose is if this Fuso sinks. Now there's 30 seconds left, so the Fuso sails in, showing full broadside. Oh my, but Fuso is trying hard, but will he be able to lose this? Probably not. There is like 10 seconds left. And while this was a big hit, it certainly doesn't look like it's enough. So this is a loss. Let's take a look at the results. Irakzet managed to get 1958 base experience. And this game was a loss. Oh my. Only one enemy got more experience than he did. Also the friendly Akatsuki performed really well. I'm not sure if it was the right choice to go hunt down the carrier, but I suppose he was fed up being plate spotted all the time. And what really devastated the friendly team was the Bismarck, who, I don't know, maybe had technical issues or internet troubles or whatever. And the Hood, who might have been a bot, but didn't really move in the end and just shot the water. So, Irakzet earned himself Confederate. Fireproof, I think. Close quarters expert, Dreadnought, Kraken, and high caliber. He scored 246,000 points of damage. He sunk 6 enemies, and it just wasn't enough to carry this battle. Well, it was an amazing game nevertheless. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys next time.